Xbox brand.
I would say I'm back, but I've never went anywhere. I know these guys got a lot to say tonight, and we've been laughing all day. But now it's time to be a little serious. Direct game of the day. Y'all see the main headlines. And I don't know, but it just seems like Marathon is gonna have a bad day. It's possibly that we could be wrong. It's possible. Very possible that we can be wrong. But the way things are looking, it's just not looking too good. And we're here to talk about it. I got Resident Gamer O, Drawn TJ, the realest one, Xbox brand. I got the Mighty Chat Pack. We here, baby. We here. Let's get to it. With no further ado. No need to hold your horses. No pun intended.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh, man, this is going to be a good show. Rain G4 popping up early. Sony needs to sell cocaine. Man, he's coming hard. What's up, Ray?
Just sell Coca-Cola.
Good evening, sir, to everybody around the world. It feels good. My energy's up. Yo, a lot of people thought that they was going to silence the legal. There was a lot of people in 10 years thought that the new legal's account was a real certified account. But the joke's on them. It was just a gamer tag account. Now, we opened up a coffin and nothing was in there. We went to a cave and we removed the stone and nothing was in there. But we saw a letter by the ocean in a glass bottle and we broke it up. We broke it apart and it read, "To all donkeys, you have all failed. There's a new day upon you. It is called Di-RRec Gaming. You have released. The spirit of the new legal has been released. And now he's navigating all around in the gaming streets to forever haunt his legacy." Let me start that over because that was good.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
We here, people. If you love what we're about, grab you a key, open you up a room to the infinite gallery. Pick any type of screen that you feel like you need to pick. Sit down, grab you some popcorn, get you a cold drink. Welcome to the Di-RRec Gaming Show. To all my Xbox comrades around the world, salute to you, double salute to you. To my panel, nothing but love for you guys. You already know. I got heavyweights. To the Mighty Chat Pack. I'm just going to keep this one up for right now. That one right there is going to get the star for the day. Sony needs to sell cocaine. Sony needs to be a drug dealer or something, man. Because I tried to tell people, man, and they just don't listen. And it's okay because I don't really care if you listen or not no more. The victory lap is upon you. The victory lap is upon you. You can see it in broad daylight. It's like Dolomite. It's like Microsoft is making drive-bys in the industry, and I know the realists like that one. Microsoft is making drive-bys in the industry like every other week or every month. A game gets dropped. A game gets dropped while everybody else is getting hard pressed. Notice how everybody's getting hard pressed, and Xbox hasn't stepped on the rake yet. We told you, Microsoft, don't step on the rake. Do what you got to do now. Just keep going. You don't have to do anything but just keep going, because you told everybody what your vision was. Your vision was to start dropping these games, put out 4 big titles a year, drop 12 games a year, whatever it was. They didn't like it. They laughed at it. They're not laughing now. This is easy. This is easy work. Now we have, what is it, Towerborn? We have, y'all help me out. We got some. It's an expedition.
We got COD also later this year. We got other games that are coming out.
What's the other one? What did we just got? What did we just get announced today, y'all? Brez, what did we get announced?
Are you talking
You mean
about
the Elder Scrolls Oblivion?
Oh
That's
yeah,
a
the
rumor, though, right?
Oblivion
Yeah,
Remastered.
that's currently not confirmed by anyone at Microsoft, so we have to kind of hold back on that one because there's really no direct tie towards that
It
yet.
was confirmed because there were leaked images from Virtuos Games website and they were pulled down. They actually leaked their own game by accident.
Well, again, I'm not saying that the game's not going to come out. I do know that the game will. I'm just saying.
Hey, Xbox brand, turn your mic up.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better, but you sound low.
Does it sound low?
There you go.
Yeah, just either talk a little bit louder or put it closer to your mouth, and then it'll work fine.
Yeah, I was just saying that I know the game will come out. That's not a concern for me, but it's not been announced by Microsoft, so therefore it's not been announced on its direct site.
And that is Brand from Twitter.
That's Brand. Yes, sir.
Bet you, sir, it is.
Yo, look, he went from Xbox Brand to Xbox Brand. So what brought you back home, bro? Because look, he blocked me on Twitter and stuff. Like, what's up, man? What brought you back to Xbox?
What's up?
Look, he left Xbox, became just Brand. Now he's Xbox Brand again.
Well, you notice though that my name was always the same. My actual handle is the same. However, I went and changed it to Brand because nobody would even conversate. Every time I would talk to them, quite literally, they would just they wouldn't even conversate. They said there was too much brand recognition. I talked to 4 creatives, and they all told me, they said, you got to do something. They said, because otherwise you won't get no kind of communication whatsoever. And so after talking with them for a while, they told me what to do.
But bro, you turned heel, bro. You blocked me.
I didn't turn heel. Nobody.
Yes, you did. You blocked me, bro. You turned heel.
Bro,
look, he had me think. Hey, he had me thinking. He hated Xbox.
You and I had. There was
like the rest of them.
It's been well over a year, brother.
Look, he started talking bad about Xbox. I was like, oh no, come on, Brand.
Nah, you better pull those receipts on that one, brother. No,
you know what? Hold on. Hey, Brand, you know what? You can point out a couple of things bad about Xbox, but I can point out like 5 million things wrong with PlayStation.
Well, this isn't about pushing on PlayStation. We're looking at pushing on Marathon when it comes out, so we need to definitely hit on that one.
Yeah, true.
Hey, but like I was saying, I don't know if y'all can hear me. That's a rumor, right? Like they haven't announced anything, correct?
They have not confirmed it, so it will come out. The question is when, and when will that actually pop out? Some people have said that it's going to be April 21st as a shadow drop. Some people are saying it's going to be a shadow drop in June, right after the showcase. There's been different reports.
Y'all know what I like? I love the fact that they're talking about Xbox games, man. I love the fact that Xbox is getting all this press, man. Notice how Xbox is being tied to a game. For the further discussions, right? Xbox being tied to a game. Now, before we even go to what y'all think the Xbox Showcase will bring up, I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this marathon. I want to know what you guys, how you guys reacted to marathon from the beginning, and what you think. Is it? Do you think that people that are not excited about it have a good point? And do they don't have a good point? Do you think that gamers actually have to play every single game to have a critical, I guess what I'm trying to say, a positive critical assessment about a video game? It's what I mean by positivity means it's not somebody that's just coming up saying, well, the game is garbage, or, oh, put a dump on it, throw it in the trash. I'm talking about somebody that's going to say something like, you know what, from how I'm looking at this game, it lacks creativity. I see too much of what I've already played. I see too much of Destiny, or I see too much of Fortnite. That's somebody that's being critical but having a good point as to their opinion as to why that game is not attracting them. When I saw that game, I immediately was not thrilled. And look, and we're talking about a game that's actually coming on Xbox, and I'm not thrilled about it. The Destiny 2 is free. My whole thing is, I know that Destiny 2 is free. I know that Overwatch is free. I understand that Helldivers is doing pretty good for Sony right now on PC. I get all of those things. But there's a reason why Helldiver is doing pretty good on PC. Helldivers, okay, because we're going to cook on that. I'm just going to stick to the point. Helldivers, to me, has a distinction about it. Okay, it's got that live service feel to it, but you have that engagement, you have the aliens, you have, let's destroy the big boss at the end, let's get out of there.
It's got a gameplay loop.
Right. It looks more like a horde battle game, which
it's kind of like Starship
gamers like that
Troopers.
stuff. Gamers always like that horde looking type of thing. You got the guys in the armor with little capes. They look awesome. They got the right helmets, right guns, and you can see the light word I would put out is excitement, but you can see the ambition of wanting to play that game. Or you can see it. It's got good graphics to it. You can see it. So when I look at Marathon, it looked like it just looked like a typical service game that's copying over again. Overwatch, Fortnite. I saw Destiny,
Apex Legends.
Right. I don't see any originality, and I think because there's no originality in it, you don't look at how the characters look. The characters don't look appealing. To me,
It
this
looks
is what
like a bunch of wannabe like high-rated games all mixed in one with a really crazy, unappealing artistic style.
Right.
That's the best way.
Creativity of it is where I saw that game and I said, oh man, that's going to be a problem right there. So to me, it looks like there's not enough creative thought process. It feels rushed. But here's my point. I told everybody that it has to happen this way for PlayStation. This has to happen. There's no other way around this, because ABK deal was the end game. So Sony has to figure out ways to make money where Call of Duty no longer makes money for it like that. So they want that 100%. Everybody knows that you want that 100%. So if you're going to take losses, you bring it out of your spot, you go over here and get your 70. You get your 30, you get your 30 over there, get your 70. But Sony has to get another game running outside of Helldivers 2, because Helldivers 2 is not doing enough for it because it's on Valve, right? So there's a 30% off of that. Now, Marathon going to Xbox, and if Marathon can survive, then Sony's going to get a good profit back on that. Out of those two, my theory on it is, I don't see Marathon lasting longer than a month. I don't see it, but it could surprise us. And if it does surprise us, I don't see a big engagement, but that can surprise us. So my take on Marathon is I don't think Sony can take another blow. If Sony takes another blow, it's going to be very hard. But this game is coming out around some very nice games, and I don't think that Marathon will be the game that the PlayStation fans are going to run to. They're just not into those type of games like that. So let's see what happens, because Helldivers 2 is doing great on PC. Let's see what happens. But that's my take on it. What's y'all take on it?
To be honest, I'm going to tell you real quick, and I'm going to let these guys see what they want to say about it. But I'll tell you real quick to that answer. They're going to end up they're going to cannibalizing their own game. They're going to sandwich it between two good games, and everybody's going to select the other games. Just like Titanfall. Titanfall was placed between Battlefield and Call of Duty. And it basically almost killed... Actually, it did kill Titanfall. That's why we haven't seen one in 10 years. So that's probably what's going to happen here. So don't get your hopes up. I'll be... and this is going to be generous. And then after this, I'm going to hand off the mic to whoever wants to chime in. But I'll be generous, and I'll say... expect maybe, and that's just a maybe 4 million people play it. And that depends on if it's $40 or if it's free to play. If it's $40, only 4 million. If it's free to play, I see a lot of people actually playing it. But who knows? We'll find out. Anybody else want to chime in?
Well, a lot of things about Marathon is, number one, the market is saturated right now, right? With that type of extraction shooter. I mean, and a lot of those games that are currently out are already doing it better, much better. I mean, people are already, I've seen the feedback online. Some people are actually calling it an Apex Legends clone because it doesn't really stand out or differentiate itself enough to kind of make it appealing enough to get people to stop playing those games and pull them over to Marathon. I think it'll have that new game smell kind of effect at the beginning where people are like, well, I'll take
Rainbow Six Siege also. They got to try to pull people from that damn game. Good luck with that.
That is like the penultimate extraction shooter, right? So how are they going to potentially do it better than Rainbow Six? It's very difficult, and especially if you don't have a lot of modes or content right at the beginning. If you're just focusing on the core part of the mechanics of the game, which is what they came out and said recently, they're not going to have really any PvE or any type of other modes. Only 3 maps, so the content's going to be limited. They're basically pulling what they did when Destiny first came out, right? There wasn't a lot of content. It was basically just like the main story and the campaign, and then they didn't really have anything to do. People got bored once they got to the end of it.
Resident?
Huh?
How much do they want for this game?
$40.
Apparently,
that's
40.
all they're getting?
And that's all they're getting, right? And who knows how long they're going to have to wait for
5 operators content. And 3 maps, correct? Isn't that right, Resident?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's BS. I wouldn't even touch that with the 10-foot pole. Maybe if it was free to play, but
well, we
$40.
Have to look at,
Come on.
Have to look at the market that yes, there are those players out there that are Destiny players, and they have been committed for a long time. And there are people that believe in what Bungie did. And some people believe that this was a good end for Destiny and they need something new. Will Marathon be able to add into the space? I don't think so. I think, if we look back at Concord, which was a very well done game, the problem was it didn't add into the space. And throwing a $40 price tag on a free-to-play market is extremely hard. You have to give them the enticement to say, hey, I'm willing to give up all that I have in my other game to drop hours into your game. What is it that you're going to get for free? You are getting nothing. You're spending $40 for a game that you have to then see if it really appeals to your liking. Now, you may find that it does resonate and people love it, but you've got to give that time. So I would think a free to play is more akin to what I would see as a smarter market. But again, they've got to recoup on costs. So I get why they're doing it. I don't think it's a bad idea, but you've got to give them something, and maybe they'll have something on launch day that will say everybody that pays $40, you get blah blah blah, and you could get something great. But even we can see that it's not the fact that the perpetuants that you would get free stuff in the future would even be a viable market, because we saw the same thing with Concord. They weren't going to charge you anything for a lot of the updates that they were going to give, and they were going to charge you $0, but people still didn't care, and they dropped it like a bad habit. So hopefully this is not the end of Bungie's lifelong dream of making great games, but this could very well be their end. I didn't see anything in it that looked exciting for me to say, hey, you know what, let me go and drop playing Fortnite or playing COD. You know what, I'm just going to go ahead and start playing on Marathon because it's a brand new game. That's not always what's going to bring you the market share. You've got to have something that people are really excited about.
And I've already seen a lot of gripes online for it. Like one, for example, slow movement. They're basically essentially adding a stamina bar to where you can like sprint for a very short amount of time and then you're back to the movement
It's kind
again.
of like the abilities in Halo Reach, remember?
Yep.
Remember how you had to press it and then you only had like so much long to use your armor lock or sprint or your jetpack or whatever? Yeah, that's what that looks like.
Yeah, that's the first thing I saw. Another thing I saw was it, like Legal said earlier, it feels rushed, like they didn't really take their time with it. They're just trying to get it out. I guarantee you a part of that was due to Sony probably pressuring them.
Have you heard that they already have the story like halfway written, and it's supposed to have a story on release day, but they don't have it finished yet, but they're going to release the game anyway. So apparently it's supposed to have a narrative story, but it's not going to release with the game. So you're going to pay $40 for a game that's half complete.
That's what I'm saying. And I guarantee you Sony didn't want to wait for them to go through and make sure they take their time. They were probably just trying to rush them, get it out the door because they need money right now. They're desperate.
Well, there's been many times when we've seen that Sony has pushed studios, even No Man's Sky, when Sean Murray had said that at the release state of where it was at currently, they weren't entirely sure that it would run great on any kind of consoles. But Sony told them they needed this game out. It had been given enough time. They'd been given enough money. This was time to push it out. So this is going to be we'll see if it launches in a good state. Hopefully it does, and maybe there's a group of people out there that'll start playing it and keep it alive. I just don't see it, but it's
I
possible.
think it'll have that new game appeal where people was like, oh, and it's a new game, I'll try it. They'll take a crack at it, and they're going to get bored quickly because a lot of the feedback I saw as well is this. What does this game do that I haven't already played before? Like they've already played that types of games. It doesn't seem like it doesn't really distinguish itself differently from any of the other same type of games.
Well, think about Halo Infinite when it came out and the limited amount of content it had, and people were extremely bored with the very low amount of content that it had.
People weren't bored. Exactly. They didn't get bored until after like the third month, because normally if content released every 3 months, the game would have been perfectly just fine. But it was every 6 months, and it was drip feed. It was like what Call of Duty does.
So, were people actually bored with the content, or did they feel that they weren't rewarded
they were
enough?
bored with repeating
let me get my question out. So, the problem, from what I can see, is now I want to ask a question. All right, dang, now you threw me off. Were people actually bored with the content, or were people just not fulfilled with the rewards for the battle pass? Because I didn't see a lot of complaints for, of course it was modes, it was Missing Forge and some other game modes, But the biggest complaints that I heard were that the battle pass wasn't rewarding enough. Like when they first announced it, it's going to be 6 months, and you can go back to it and go, get the rewards at any time you want. Like people were happy about it, but there wasn't enough. It wasn't enough live service content. Like people were still having fun with Halo the game. It was the battle pass that wasn't fulfilling. That's what I saw.
do remember it was taking too long to like level up and stuff, right?
So
Yeah,
I'm
for
a
the
little
battle
bit
pass.
different. I didn't really care for the battle pass, to be honest. I was looking for the damn modes and the maps and Forge and co-op, because I'm like, you know what? Halo is not a competitive game. It's actually a social game. It's for people to talk shit and have fun, and me call you an asshole, but I'm just joking because we're playing and we're kicking each other's butts in the game and having a beer and just enjoying the game after a long day of work. But they made it really competitive, and then they said, oh, let's make it where it's a drip feed because we got contractors that are going to be gone in 6 months because that's Washington State's law. I mean, the problem is they contracted people that literally worked on the engine itself. That's a big no-no. You don't do that. Hey, realist, do you
Yes.
when you go get your car like serviced, do you go give it to a guy that just came out of college that barely knows how to work on a damn car, never worked on his car in his life, and then you sit there and you say, go ahead and fix my whatever car you have. Let's say it's an old Camaro or something, and it's like one of your favorite cars, and you're supposed to give it to this young kid that doesn't know anything that could possibly destroy it. Versus you could take it to an actual veteran, someone that's had multiple years that could do it right.
Of course, it's going to take it to the veteran. The key word is he doesn't know anything.
The problem is they're going to have to do something, because I'm going to tell you right now, if they're going to truly charge people $40, man, I don't know, because, and I'm going to tell you guys this information because I watch other YouTubers. Hidden Xperia is a big Halo YouTuber and also Destiny player. He loves Bungie. He played Marathon. He said it feels like Destiny and it feels like Halo. He said, but here's the problem. There's no game loop. Meaning there's no reason, there's no feeling for it to feel like you want to play it again. That's what he said. He played an older version of the build, but he said that's what I felt like when I was playing it. He said, unless they come out with something dramatically different when they release it, he said, I see this game dead on arrival immediately.
Well,
And it wasn't just him. It was Big Fry also. Big Fry mentioned it too.
It looks like my assessment was correct then. That's what it looks like. But you want to know why I asked realist or the whole panel?
Well, I never answered.
I said, you want to know why I asked how much?
No, but I never answered. Like we were supposed to all answer.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in general.
I'm saying it though.
Why I asked what the price was for it, and they said $40 is because I'm seeing something here, y'all. I want y'all to vibe with me. I want y'all to open up your minds a little bit. And this is a question now for anybody. Just answer it. How much was Forza Horizon 5 edition for us to get it early release? How much was it?
$30.
Okay. How much was Call of Duty? How much was Call of Duty Vault Edition for us to get?
$30.
Okay. There's an incentive, right? Notice where I'm going with this. I don't really.
The incentive is people actually want to play the damn game.
Yeah,
that's true. One. That's one. Two. For those that can't afford that Vault Edition, and they knew, damn, if I get that Game Pass, I pay $30 and I get it. And they ran over there and got it. This is real stuff. This really happened.
Well, I mean,
there's
legal.
A game
you save money. I mean, 30 plus 20 is 50.
Let me finish, TJ. There's a game that entices people right off the top. It has camaraderie. It has clout. Call of Duty has all of that. To give an incentive, say, hey, listen, 5 days early, $30. That's it. You play that game, license. There you go. You're playing it. It is yours to play as long as you want, right? But it's got an incentive there. This game, you're not playing full dollar for it. You're getting it 5 days early. You're getting all the special treatment, the wax job and all, right? Car wash, rims clean, everything. You're getting tinted windows, everything. Marathon, they're offering you $40. My question now is, where's the incentive? That's anybody. Anybody can answer. Where's the incentive?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Currently, as it stands, no, there is no incentive and reason for someone to buy the game, other than maybe that this game could actually be a really great extraction shooter from Bungie. So we'll see.
I mean,
go
ahead, Realist. Go ahead.
I don't want to start stumping on people. I'm trying to be patient. So look, like a lot of people talking junk about the game, right? But you got to kind of tune the noise out, man. Bungie knows how to market their games. They're going to have some interest. This $40 comes from PlayStation, Sony. Bungie has already experimented with charging for their games. They've already experimented with charging for their games and then having to go back as a free-to-play. What does that do? That pisses off everybody who paid for the game, right? So I know Bungie, this is not their idea, but Sony is looking at Call of Duty, which is the biggest paid service game, right? After it might be college football or Madden, but it's one of the biggest paid service games. So when they look at what it's doing on their system and they're saying, yes, we can make a service game that has a premium tag attached to it. That's why them not having the story ready is a big deal. The story should be ready if you're going to charge for it. There has to be something, right? Call of Duty has a campaign. Call of Duty has a campaign. Well, they have some content, and it's going to be, and they're promising more content, right? The game's gonna do all right. They can't just treat it like they treated Concord because they invested $3 billion in Bungie. There's a lot riding on this game. Destiny's already flaming out. So the only thing that Bungie is really got going for them right now is Marathon. So they're gonna have to figure out how to get the ball rolling with the game. I think it's gonna have some Bungie fans invest into it. I think somebody said 4 million. I can't substantiate. I can't come up with a number, but there're gonna be some people that are interested in the game that are gonna get involved with the game. But can they keep them playing the game? That's the whole issue, right? Because last year when they announced this game for this year, I said, okay, you already got Helldivers coming out. I didn't expect Helldivers to do the numbers that it's doing. So you're gonna put 2 of your games head to head against one another, right? So somebody said cannibalizing.
Yep,
I'm looking at them. I look at them cannibalizing their own game. You're gonna put out 2 extraction shooters. I don't think Sony expected Helldivers to be the success that it is, and so now they have a problem. And Helldivers isn't really a service game. Only thing you're really paying for with that game is expansions. They're not selling cosmetics or anything else like that with that game. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as a lot of people are saying, because Bungie's name still carries a lot of weight. They still have a lot of fans, even with the way Destiny was handled with Activision, with it dealing with their stories through Grimoire cards and things like that. People still roll with Bungie into Destiny 2 until now. Destiny 2 is finally flaming out. So I think a lot of those players are going to give it a chance. It's about, can they keep players coming? There's a game coming out called like Arc Raiders. That's another extraction game that's coming out. You know what I mean? We don't know when it's coming, but if it comes out anywhere near that, that's even more competition for what is this game called? Marathon. So Sony's gonna have to figure out something. You know, they need a service. They need a service game to pop. Go ahead.
Do you remember Escape from Tarkov?
Yeah.
Don't count me as saying this as fact, but if I remember correctly, isn't there supposed to be a remake of Escape from Tarkov or a successor to it that's coming out this year?
I don't know. I don't
I think there is.
I don't play it, but I know that that's the one that pretty much made everybody else feel like they need to make one.
Yeah, the Marathon's freaking dead.
It's pretty much good. Well, I mean, on PC, look, there's so much competition, man. And like Bungie, see, Sony acted too late. Sony bought, in my opinion, a dying asset, whereas
Yep.
Microsoft bought one of the leaders in the field. And so now this is PlayStation's like last hope in get in the shooting genre. Like Destiny, Destiny, I think they pretty much canceled that one, right? They had some other expansion that was supposed to go into it, and then they wanted to make a sequel, and I think they canceled that one, right? Moved Bungie players into another studio, so they need this one to really pop. But like $40 is going to be a barrier when you got so many games that people are already occupied with. The thing with trying to break through in the free to play is you have to take people from games that they're already playing, that they're already invested in,
and that's
right?
hard.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's rare that we get something that comes through and blows up. Helldivers always had a PC base.
I mean, Power World blew up, but then everybody
But that's
eventually
not a
left it
shooter.
and went back. So
But that's not a shooter. You know what I mean? I'm talking
yeah, but
about
I'm just
just like
saying,
a
like
shooter.
even games that strike gold, they last for a little bit, but then they go right back down to the beginning again because everybody leaves. I
I
mean,
think
It depends on what type of success that PlayStation is looking
yeah,
for. We know that they need it to go to the moon, but at what point do they continue to invest in it? Because I said this before they even started with these live service games. When Xbox gamers were saying that Xbox gamers need to make games like PlayStation, I was like, no, we need to see what PlayStation looks
no,
like
hell
when they
no.
start to play. We need to see what PlayStation looks like when they make multiplayer games. Because to me, they don't have the heart for it. And then they validated me when they canceled Concord the way they did. Right? They've already invested more money than they should have in Bungie. They've already had to fragment the studio. So
Well,
we're gonna see how much they put into it and how long they stick with it because they already spent more than they needed to buy the studio.
I
well
agree with
they've
you.
spent a bunch of money on a lot of live service games. I think Jim Ryan was overreaching when he had ambitions to be able to push a strong live service market. And I think you're right, realist. I think you're hitting it the nail on the head. There are those people that are committed to, they are the Destiny fans. They're the people that have been playing the game. They are Bungie fans. They know what is great about Bungie, and they know what greatness can come from. So they might be more than willing to jump in. You may get that good initial market. The question is going to be longevity, which I think one of y'all was hitting on, was that how long will it be successful, and will it be able to stay long term enough to give those people that are giving it that initial try to be able to say, you know what, I'm getting that validation of that $40, and I don't need to go back to playing my Fortnite and my COD and what other games that they may have been playing, Apex or whatever, and any of them that are free. So what is going to be the draw? What is going to be the pool? And maybe maybe Bungie's got an idea for Marathon. Maybe they've got they know that you got to give a little bit in the beginning, and then you can, throw a bunch at them and people will be happy. I mean, I don't know. These guys, they were geniuses in the past. They were able to get people to buy into the program. So they don't have all the people that they had originally, but maybe now they
There
might
you
be able to
go.
find that place again. I hope they do. That would be my hope, that anybody can succeed. I don't want to see people to fail. I'd
I
love
got
to
a
see.
question. I
Yeah,
got a
sure.
question. When we talk about cooking, right? When you talk about cooking, um, when you're cooking something or grilling anything or anything where it has to do with cooking, do you take it off your eye? Do you take it off your grill and leave it on a plate and it's going to cook itself? Or do you keep
No,
it there? Or do you keep it there until it's done and then you take it off, right?
you
You
cook
keep
it.
it
You cook the steak till it's medium rare.
there until it to your desire, right?
Exactly.
So I was listening. I was listening to y'all talk about Marathon. There's something that I picked up from each and every one of you. The game is not going to be complete.
Oh
It's
hell yeah,
coming out
it's
with
not
a
gonna be
few
complete.
things. It's coming out with a few this and it's coming out with a few that. My thing is, if it's gonna be that, why bring it out? Because
Exactly.
here's my point. Here's my point. The firewalk guy. Let me see. The firewalk dev, right? He urged folks to let Bungie cook. Now, this is when you start getting into your feelings and stuff. Normally, when you get into your feelings and your emotions, you'll say things that you can say things without really properly assessing what you're saying. So from what I get, that this guy, he's being very, very sympathetic for Marathon. And there's nothing wrong with that, being a developer in the industry. You're looking at somebody working their asses off, and you're seeing the gamers dissatisfied. Well, I mean, listen, we're the gamers. We're the consumers. So if we see something that we're not satisfied about and we're criticizing it, that's just part of the nature of the beast. That's it. But if you say things like this, right? And I want to make sure I quote him real good. Let me see what he said. Yeah, he says, I really didn't want to be that dev, calling attention to myself as if I had a horse in this fight. But to call this game a failure before it's even out is wild to me. Okay, so here we go. We're going to forget about this game called Redfall, right? Because people were saying this game was dead, garbage. It didn't even play it either. See, this is the problem that I have. We pick and choose when we want to say things, but that doesn't fall right with us gamers. Us real gamers, we have to keep our toes down. If you're gonna do one game this way, you gotta do them all this way. We don't pick and choose which ones we want to do. Redfall got the same damn validation out here. Same validation, Zink.
But legal.
Same.
Redfall was complete.
Oh, that's right. Same validation, y'all. Same validation. But it's worse because you had people out here that was calling this game Gotti before they even played more than 3 hours of the game. They came out here talking about the game, didn't realize that you had to beat the first boss. You had to beat Hollow Man to realize that you just broke through the tutorial of the game. See, this is why we don't pick and choose. We don't pick and choose when we want to be sympathetic, because when we do that, we look hypocritical. We have to stay true to what goes on in a broad spectrum. I'm hearing that Marathon isn't finished. So if you're telling us to let them cook, that means let them finish. That doesn't mean let them cook a half-ass game, put it out there, and we're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. Isn't that what we've been criticizing this whole time as gamers? Hey, look, put out a complete game. We don't have to put out unfinished work anymore. Put out a complete game. As a matter of fact, the words "let them cook" is an Xbox thing. That didn't come from Nintendo. That didn't come out of the spaces of PlayStation. That came out of the devs of Xbox. Let us cook. Everybody is saying that this game is going to be DOA. Everybody. Jay Rich is even saying it.
Some of the biggest YouTubers are even saying it.
You got a lot of people saying it. The problem is you have a lot of PlayStation fans, but PlayStation fans are exempt. We're not listening to PlayStation fans because we already know they don't play these types of games. We already know they're not playing Helldivers 2. These PlayStation gap generational fans, they're playing Fortnite, okay? Minecraft. They're playing Madden 2K. So we already know this. Call of Duty. We already know this. So we don't have to worry about or wonder where they're at. That's where they're at. They're not playing these exclusives. They're not playing any of that stuff. All right? That's where they're at. So when you hear people say, look, Marathon's going to be DOA, it's not because they need to play the game. That's not what they're judging it off of. They're not saying that, oh, this game, I never played it, it's dog shit. They're not looking at it from that standpoint of view. They're looking at it in a creative standpoint of view, because you want me to play a game that's basically doing the same things as all these other games that are doing. But here's a key factor in the other games. I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay for Marvel Rivals. I don't have to play for Fortnite. I don't have to play for Overwatch. I don't have to play for Destiny 2. But you got me sitting up here wanting to pay for this game that's basically doing the same damn thing. Now, look, there's a reason why I started recording my gameplays of Off the Grid. Okay, Off the Grid reminds me of a little bit of what is it? PUBG, Fortnite, when you're dropping out of a plane.
I've never heard of Off the Grid.
I'm gonna let you know something about it, John TJ. It's got that same type of, you drop out of a playing field. We already know where that comes from. That's nice. Fortnite, PUBG, right? All that good stuff. So that didn't bother me. The thing that draw me to that game was the beginning of it. The tutorial was all about sitting there and watching the game. The tutorial actually made you engage in just sitting there to listen about how the game was going to be played and the type of things that you can do. They were actually showing you that in real game, in real time. They were showing you, and I was like, well, damn, you can get your arm shot off. You can literally get your arm shot off. You can run over there and pick it back up. You get your legs blown off. You can get your legs picked back up. I can shoot your arm off.
How come go and get it? Put it on.
I could put my adversary's arms on. The guns on there, all customized. Put your scopes, your muzzlers, your infrareds, your stocks, your extended clips. All that stuff is in there. Your barrels.
Is it on Xbox?
It's on Xbox. It's
shit.
Actually on almost on all
I'm gonna download it right now then.
It's on almost all platforms except for Nintendo, I think. But
thanks for telling me about that.
It's more realistic. So I said, let me check this game out. I started playing the game, and because my son put me on it. His friends told him to check it out. I checked it out, and I was like, damn, I like the game. So me and my son put about 2 weeks in it. And I was like, you know what, man, let's start recording this. So we started recording on Twitch. Next thing we know, me and my son, we were winning matches. And we were, because we had to play with randoms. There's only 3 people to a team. So we was always playing with a random. Met a couple friends, made about 3 friends off of that. And it's still in game review. But the fact that this game, when you go in, Resident, you don't wait. You wait about 30 seconds, you're going in. You finish another game, 30 seconds, you're going in. 10 seconds, you're going in. There's people already dedicating themselves to this game, and it's still in game preview. The reason why, people, is because this game has a value. It has an interest. Here it is. It's doing something that's creative that you haven't done before. Literally haven't done before. And that's putting on other people's arms, putting on other people's legs, running. You got different styles. You can use your legs for jumping real high. You can use your legs for running real fast. You can use your legs for thumping the ground, smashing down at the ground. And I think there's another one. You can use it for you can use it for sending missiles out to reach your enemies. And so you have like 4 or 5 options. You have a jetpack. You can optimize your jetpack for longer flights. You can make it for shorter flights, but going faster. You can make it for longer flights, going slower, longer charge pack. I mean, for real, all that stuff's in there. You got different types of way to kill your enemies through poisonous gas, through shock waves, through immobilization, through missiles, through mines. I'm not making this up. And all this stuff comes from your arms. All these things you can shoot out outside of your gun. Outside of your gun. So this game, when it comes out, and look, and on the game preview, because I was listening to y'all, right? The game preview, it has 2 massive boards. Now, notice what I said. Game preview has 2 big, massive maps. 2. Now, let them cook.
And it's free.
It's a game preview. It's not finished because it's in what, Brand? It's in what, games, Resident Gamer? In the game preview. Nobody in their right mind is saying, oh, the game is finished, or they're going to bring it out and then they're going to start adding maps. No. And you can actually level up now. You don't have to wait till the game comes out. You play the game right now. You actually climb. You actually you get gifts, care packages, and all this other stuff. You win muzzlers and colored skins for your guns and levels of your actual attire. You get that. You get upgrades to your body mechanics, because they're like, it's a group, it's people who are going out here to fight each other, right? YouTubers, all that. You'll see it in the previews when it's coming on in the trailer, right? But what they're actually doing is they're catching people that die on the field or might be injured on the field. They're cyborging them, putting them back together, and then releasing them back out in the field again. See what I'm saying? This is the type of stuff that's being creative. Gamers like creativity. That's why. That's all it is. They're not judging this game marathon because, oh, look at it. It's just, it want to be free to play. No. When you make a video game and you make it appealing, this is just old law, right? You make it appealing, you make it look interesting, gamers are going to buy it. They're going to buy it. But you have to sit and listen to gamers. They're not just saying what they're saying for no reason. And notice, this isn't an exclusive. This game just ain't sitting in one spot. It's not. You got reports out here, right? There's articles out here where gamers, where they did like polls and stuff for these gamers. And gamers are saying, look, man, I'm feeling like if you want me to play this game, pay me. That's bad, bro. When you got gamers talking like that, that's bad. That's bad.
Oh, by the way,
Go ahead.
I just want to say something real quick. By the way, I forgot to mention this because I just remembered this. Literally like 3 or 4 days either after or before Borderlands 4 releases, right in the same damn week, smack in the middle of when Marathon releases. So good luck with that. And what is Borderlands? Well, it's not an extraction game, but it is a looter shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
What's the release date for Marathon?
Yeah.
Or
I don't know off the top of my head,
and September, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I think it was
Yeah, it's September.
4th or somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, because
and
like
Borderlands is in September.
Fourth quarter is horrible. Like, why would you do that?
So either
they have
and
some
then
kind of
you got
confidence
GTA
in the game.
also.
We don't know when that's coming, but like, but see, like either they have some type of confidence in that game, you know what I mean, or it's really not gonna come.
Well, the fact that if in fact GTA 6 launches this year, I mean that could be a real disastrous moment because it's supposed to drop fall. And if
you
it
said
drops,
could be, that would be.
I mean that could be some ugly competition.
No, that would be ugly. But see, the thing is, I don't think Grand Theft Auto is coming because Take-Two is probably going to win Publisher of the Year this year. They have already got Civ coming, Borderlands, Mafia. I don't think that they're going to DMX. I don't think they're going to DMX those games with
They got Mafia. They have Borderlands, and then what's the other game? There's one more game besides GTA.
That's what I said. They said they have Civilization. Borderlands,
which
and
came
Mafia.
out,
and then but still, like, but that's a very different audience too. But Mafia and Borderlands, I don't think they want to kill those games off with their own game. Is Judas still coming out this year? Like, if Judas comes out, that's 4 games. That's four games that they'll release this year, and then kill it off of Grand Theft Auto. I don't think so.
It's a bad
We'll see.
situation.
But okay, both of y'all stop talking. But the good thing about, I'm going to say something good about the game, right? The good thing about Marathon is it looks like it can run on anything. That's the one thing that they got right. It can run. It looks like it
Well, I
can
would
run on
hope
a
so.
cell. It looks like it can run on a tablet. It looks like it can be on Switch too. It's going to be on the other high performance consoles and PC. So that's the one thing that it has going for it. That it's going to be on every platform eventually, and it should be able to find some audience somewhere. The problem is, will the audience be big enough for Sony to keep investing?
I like what you said, Willis.
It
Beautiful
doesn't look
line right
graphics
there.
heavy.
But here's
so,
my
yeah.
thing, Willis. Here's my thing to it. Concord could have done. Concord was the same way.
No, Concord was a dud, bro. I think, what is it? 700 was the max players on Steam. Like it was so bad. It was so bad that nobody. It was so bad that nobody wanted to play the beta that they had to make it free to play for everybody. That's how bad
that game should.
But I'm talking about your qualifications. I'm talking about what you said about it being able to run anywhere. It was built the same kind of way. It wasn't overloaded.
I agree, legal.
This is
it could have been
legal.
put anywhere.
We're not gonna act like Firewalk and Bungie are on the same level, bro. We're not gonna act like Bungie's name doesn't ring bells out here in the industry.
No, they're not. But both games could have been put in multiple places, various places, mobile, you name it, because they both don't have that overload on graphical prowess for excuses as to why it shouldn't be, right? But really,
you're talking about 200 million compared to 3 billion, bro.
Right, realist.
It's gonna get give it.
Yeah, you break it up, but I heard enough of what you said, and I agree. But you know, the thing is with me, man, I don't think. Okay, put it like this. To me, this is me. That game looks catered to the Destiny crowd, right? It's and this is where it's making it hard for me to make sense out of it.
You're hitting it right on the nail in the coffin.
Your Destiny crowd is playing that game for free. You want them to come over to not Concord, I'm sorry. Y'all, you want them to come over to Marathon to a style of game that kind of plays like, it feels like Destiny 3. You can see it. It when you pull the gun up, you look through the scope, it looks just like Destiny 3. Destiny 2. I'm damn it, that game's got me even confused out here. What's up, Jacob? It looks
apparently it plays
Destiny
like it
2, right?
because
you're shooting, it looks like that. But it's got all the weaker aspects to it. But you want them to pay $40 for this. There's no story, right? You know how it is. You know how I feel. I don't really need a story for a game like that. But there's millions of gamers that want a game always to be tied to some damn story. It has to be tied, because that's what they complain about Destiny, right? Here's a story so that you're gonna have those.
Or at least a little introduction story. It could be like 12 minutes long, but at least something.
A good couple. Look, that's correct. If you're not a good couple minutes to get you in, ain't that what I just said about?
Because otherwise, where's your identity?
Right. I just said that about Off the Grid. I
exactly.
literally just said that. When you'll see it today, John, when you look at it, you're gonna have an introduction. The game basically speaks for itself. It's explaining itself.
I've seen the trailers before. It looks like a damn movie. The guy that created is also the creator of District 9, Elysium, and other movies, which is really cool.
That's him.
Yeah.
Marathon could have a good opening explanation,
if it's executed correctly, yes.
Just to get people to see what it's about and then bring it on in. But Rachie has a good point as well. I played Anthem.
Anthem didn't have a bad story. The problem was there was not enough content. And then EA just wanted to pull the plug because they knew they couldn't fulfill the content order when it came to pleasing the fans, and it was not enough. That's what happened. It was a Halo Infinite situation. If you don't believe me,
Anthem to
look it
me,
up. EA
Anthem
literally
to
wrote
me,
an actual article about it. They answered questions about it.
Anthem to me was a beautiful game.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
I dressed my game. I dressed my game. I dressed my character up like Iron Man.
Yeah, I know.
I went out there and I played that
That'd
game.
be perfect Iron Man game.
I did those what you call them, the damn, what you call those things? I forgot. Those little missions, the missions, but they had a name to them, the little missions. I did all that stuff. I ended up playing it, beat the game solo on the campaign. The story was good. The story was good. I didn't have a problem with it. The majority of what I heard
sad
about that game
I
was
really like that game.
cockiness, the frame rate issues, and all that stuff. And I did see that. I did see a lot of that. But the game had potential. You saw the potential. It made me want to play through.
I didn't care how bad the game played. I love that game. And you know what? I'll say this once, and I'll say it only once. Anything that EA touches, they kill. They killed Command & Conquer. They killed... I can name off a lot of shit they've killed. They've killed so many studios, it's not even funny. You should look up the list. I had Louis do it one time. They've killed over 500 studios they've acquired because it wasn't making enough profit. They've killed talented studios like they were nothing after acquiring them. It's disgusting.
Legal. The reason why Bungie has to have a story, right? The same reason why people were complaining about 343 not releasing a finished Halo is because that's what people expect from Bungie, right?
Yeah.
Bungie is Halo, right? That's their roots, right? Bungie always came with a good to great story, depending on who's judging, and then the multiplayer. That was one of the biggest complaints when they were under Activision, that Activision didn't give them enough time to put the story out there, and it had to be with Grimoire cards, right? You had to go find the Grimoire cards and piece the story together. So that's why they have to have it. And that might be why PlayStation thinks it's worth more than what it is. What they need to understand, this is what I said, PlayStation's not ready for this live service thing, man, because they cost so much money to put before you even start to make money. Like Fortnite didn't hit the ground running. The only one that I can think of that was a service game is Apex. Shadow dropped and it just it took off.
Yeah, that was Shadow dropped. Yep.
Yep. So that's the only one that I can think of to hit the ground running.
But that came from Timefall though too. So it already had kind of like an established background already.
It could have had an established background and the same team and all that, but Titanfall bombed, right, for whatever reason. So like, Sony's gonna have to figure this thing out, man. Because like I always say, man, if Sea of Thieves was a Sony game, it'd be dead. Because Sea of Thieves was just water, and it became what it is now over time. And it took a lot of money and studio investment, sweat equity to get the game to where it is right now. So, I'm rooting for them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a PlayStation fan, but man, they've been taking a lot of L's, bro. You know what I mean? I'm starting to feel sorry for the PlayStation community, man. They got Last of Us. They got Last of Us for like the 8th time, bro. They just got another Last of Us.
The question I gotta ask all of you guys.
I'm not trying to be funny, bro. I'm serious.
I know. It's funny because
the question I gotta ask is, and we all gotta come with an answer to this. What happens to Sony if this fails? And I mean it. Let's say it epically fails. Not saying I want it to, but let's just say it does. What the hell happens to Sony? Do they start selling off IPs? What do they do? Because they're going to
close more studios and lay more people off.
Yeah, that's what
I was thinking, because they're screwed
told y'all what's
at this point.
I told y'all, look, people have been complaining
because their movies aren't doing hot either. Their movies are not doing hot either. So, yeah, it's going to be tough.
But I told y'all what was going to happen. I told y'all Microsoft is rendering them to a storefront, right? Microsoft, look, when Phil comes out and says the things, well, no, they're turning them into Steam, okay? Because that's basically what they have right now. They're rendering them to a storefront. I'm telling you, Like people laugh, right? But they don't believe it. Microsoft is putting them into a position, right, to where they really can't function. Think about it. They can't compete, but they keep trying. You notice, like, Xbox people still complaining that PlayStation is trying to keep games from Xbox. That's the only thing they can do right now. Like, Xbox is over here throwing haymakers while PlayStation is windmill slapping with their face turn. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's going to get to a point. That's what they're going to have to do, because their games, the games that they become synonymous with, are too expensive to create, right? You look at, they keep remaking and remaking and remaking, and these games are selling less and less. I mean, the only thing that really like gives numbers is PC. And look at how Horizon. I think Horizon sold 50,000. So just look at what they're doing. They have to keep remaking, right? The service games, they canceled most of them. So where do they go? Remaking Uncharted? They'll get a remake of Uncharted before they get a sequel of Uncharted. They'll get another repackaging of The Last of Us before they get a Last of Us sequel. Like,
They'll
where does
also port
PlayStation
more
go?
to PC.
Well, I mean, that's lost its luster, right? When they first started bringing games to PC, there was novelty. Oh, Sony's got games on PC, right? But now as they keep coming, because think about it, Helldivers was always a PC game. There were 1,500 people on Helldivers on Helldivers 1 when Helldivers 2 came out. So like that game already had a PC fan base. But most of their games that go to PC, they're not moving. Look at what Horizon did on it. Look at what Ratchet did. Look at Ghost did well. That's the best. Like, that's the only reason that made my PlayStation worth having, bro. Like, I haven't played PlayStation since. But that's Assassin's Creed, right? You look at Horizon, Days Gone. Those games did well. But then you look at the sequels. Look at the sequel of God of War. They're selling less and less. Day one is inevitable. If they do come out with anything in the near future, what do they have? The only studio, okay, you got the game from Housemarque. But other than that, there's not much going on. And that game's going to be a dud.
Going back to Marathon, I know I'm changing the course here, but I would say the key thing for Marathon, if it really wants to be successful, is it cannot make the same mistakes that Halo Infinite made with content. And I'm talking about they need to be pushing out content at a more frequent base, meaning like they can't take 6 to 9 months to make extra. I would say they at least 3 months. Every 3 months they need to be pushing out something new. Otherwise, after about, like, I would give it maybe 3 months. People are going to play it for a little bit. They're going to have that interest because it's a new game, and they'll might stick around for a little while. You know, some of the hardcore base, the Destiny players. But if it gets to a point, and we saw this with Infinite, if it gets to a point where it's the same modes, the same 3 maps, and it's at that 3-month mark, people are going to start voicing their frustrations on their website, on their forums, on Twitter, on social media, and it's going to grow and grow and grow, and it's going to get to the point where people are just going to drop off like flies. Like it's just going to completely crater into oblivion if that happens. I mean, and from the sounds of it, it sounds to me like they're not going to do that. So I was telling Legal before the show, I don't give this game more than like a few months, like maybe 6 months at the most. But I guarantee there's going to be a huge drop off, especially with all the big games coming out. They really need to do something to keep people in the game. If it's not going to be content, they need to start adding at least a PvE mode. I mean, that can't be too much, more difficult than adding content. That has to be less as complex as actually
PvP, wasn't it?
Oh, was there? Okay, well, if that's the case,
that's the whole point of it.
That might actually keep it around for a little bit longer, but
because Big Fry and Big Fry, the YouTuber, was playing the game, and he was told by the devs that there's 2 maps that are for PvP, and then there's a third. The third map is for PvE, PvP.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
how they're going to roll that out. That's
I
at
think the game.
launch.
I think the gameplay too needs to be good. Like it needs to be smooth, or needs not to be stuttering, frame rate issues. Like if they're gonna only focus on the core experience, it needs to be a solid experience, you know, right off the bat. Otherwise, like not only people are going to be turned off right away. Like if that's the case, and they don't even have content as well, that's just a double edge. That's just like a double negative, and that's not going to go over well for them. I don't think like it's going to end up going the route quite. I mean, in terms of like the quick decline as fast as Concord did, but I definitely see it gradually slipping real quick, especially if all those things I just mentioned come to pass. And it doesn't seem like they've learned their lesson, or maybe like we were talking about earlier, maybe this wasn't completely Bungie's decision. It was Sony's decision to pressure them to release the game. If that's the case, they might have already were planning on waiting until like 2026 to come out with the game, to give them more time to get those extra modes, more maps, and all the finish the story, get everything ready. Like learn basically from their mistakes from releasing the first Destiny game, which is how they started off Destiny 1, right? And it seems like they really didn't learn a damn thing, and they're just going to make the same mistake again, except this time a lot of people aren't going to be as forgiving. Maybe the hardcore base, maybe they'll get along with it for a little while, but I'm talking about like any like casual gamers, anybody jumping off of Fortnite to try it out. It's just not really going to pull them in, especially if they don't have that secret sauce, you know, that hook, that magic that keeps pulling you back in. And also the big thing we haven't even talked about is the lack of game chat. I mean, that is like you're playing an extraction shooter and there's no
proximity chat, right?
No, sorry, that's what I meant. Proximity chat.
Yeah,
and
that
there's
proximity
no
is huge.
fucking proximity chat. Are you kidding me?
Well, see, that's one
I
of the
heard
things
about
that people want to be able to goad other players, right? They want to be able to talk shit, and they want to be able to, you know, if they kick their ass, they want to be able to stand over them and say, "Look, I just kicked your ass. You just got your ass stomped. Whatever." They want to be able to have that recognition, because that's where Fortnite really loses a hold, right? You can't go over and you can't talk shit to these people. There's no way for you to communicate. And that's something that could really help propel this game. If you give the ability for people to talk shit, they're just gonna. And that's what they want to do. So let them have that proximity chat. It would be a huge boost to the game. I think it would do very well with that kind of a mechanism. I understand the whole you got to control the vocal space because of all the rules and such, but people are going to be people. People want to gloat over somebody else when they've kicked their ass. They just want to be talking that shit.
You know, it's not safe here on Di-RRec Gaming if you love Nintendo right now. It's not safe. It's not a safe playground. I'm gonna get a little deep with Nintendo today because I'm about to bring some smoke. So Nintendo, you want to get into the big leagues now. You want to flex your muscles. I see you out here curling 50s right now. You're trying to curl those 50 dumbbells. I see it's a little heavy, but you're getting about 3 curls. You're trying to do those pull-ups. You're getting about 2 pull-ups. I see you out here doing about 10 push-ups, 15 push-ups. I see you trying to get brolic. But I think I'm starting to see Nintendo's ultimate weakness. And as a gamer that's been out here as long as I've had, through 4 eras? But I've been through 4 eras, right? Nintendo, NES, the Genesis, the Nintendo 64s, to the Sega Genesis again, the Sega CDs, Saturns, all this, all the way to Xbox, to where we're at now, PlayStation 5s and Series X and Nintendo Switches, right? Media, baby. But hey, we need a bomber clock, famo. We need a bomber clock. We need one, Bounty. We need one. Look, there's a weakness out there, and I don't think people have gravitated to it. So tonight on Di-RRec Gaming, I'm about to expose the weakness of Nintendo. I've been doing my studies. First, I want to ask my compadres on the stage right now. I have one question before I get into this weakness that I'm about to expose, because it's a real weakness. Trust me on this. This is a real weakness. And I know all of y'all are wondering what it is. Resident, what do you think the weakness of Nintendo is?
My thing is, I think they're too arrogant. They think that their products are of better value and quality than their competitors, so that they feel that they can do whatever they want to their fan base, including never lowering their prices and charging them just for the same game 8 years ago, or premium prices. You know, I mean, that's my thing is like they think too highly of themselves.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. Stop right there. Xbox brand, what do you think the weakness is?
I think it's pure brand loyalty.
Okay.
They've seen over the last several years with the Switch 2 generation that their generations seem to go strong. People will continue to buy games even at a $60 level, even though they may sell it 8 years later than it was the years before. It doesn't matter. They seem to be able to have it with
That's
them.
good. I didn't want to be long. Drawn TJ, what do you think their weakness is? Shouts to Mr. Keem in the building.
Personally, I think it's their lackability of adapting and changing with the times. Because look at their hardware. And look at also how they make their games compared to modern technology.
Okay, good points. All three of y'all made some good points. But I think that y'all made the points that come from what's popularly being said about Nintendo. Just my assessment, because I used to think those same things. All three of y'all said some right things because we see it. Now to the chat pack. If anybody thinks they figured out what I'm going to say about the weakness, lay it out there and I'll show it. Feel free. Put some guesses out there. I'm going to wait about 10 seconds and then I'm going to let y'all know what I found out. There's an exposure level. High level is hazardous right now. I'm giving Nintendo some smoke. All right, we're about ready for the 10 seconds to be over with. Here we go, y'all. Uh-oh. Is there what? Online? Okay, that's not bad, Rachie. It's what I'm saying. Not bad. None of all of those types of things are not bad. Not bad guessing. Y'all ready?
You should have said store.
The store weakness, overpriced. I'll be damned. Dolan Knight found it. I mean, let's gravitate. Let's gravitate on this because that's the weakness. Okay, Nintendo, here's your problem. I figured it out about Nintendo. You're scared to overprice. You're scared to move up. And the reason why Nintendo is scared to move up is because it lacks technology skills. It lacks proper engineering. It lacks tech. How we're seeing this? Because we're seeing it now. You put out a Piranha plant camera that's gonna do 480p resolution. Now to some of you youngsters, some of you whippersnappers. Now look, Other Zinc was in here, and I know Jago6 is in here. So Jago got excited when I said 4080p. He got really excited. And I know Other Zinc would get excited. Mr. Kima, he's one of them. He got excited. I said 480p. These guys jumped out of their seats. Because anybody that understands where 480p comes from, I'm going to tell y'all. When you went over to your grandmother's house or your auntie's or uncle's house back in the early 90s, and I'm trying to reach the least generation of this generation, the least. I'm trying to get them to at least 93. I'm trying, y'all. They might have been little kids. I don't know. But when we were growing up, 480p was relevant. Now, I mean, that was hell. You had a 480p TV. You was everybody had one. You know why? Because 480p was the resolution for the tube TVs. Tube TVs. Notice how far back I just went, Resident. The tube TV. You know, the TV where you can watch your shows 1 foot away from the screen and you didn't go blind. That TV screen. The tube TV where we went to bed because all the stations were done and you see the United States Air Force jet fighter plane. I think it was the F-16 fly through the air, and the national anthem came on, and then your TV station shut off, and all you got was
back when TV had a knob instead of buttons.
Right. The TVs had a knob where you turned your TV channel, click, 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 click. Y'all don't know nothing about those good old days, bro. When you wasn't getting reception, you went and got some aluminum foil and you put it on the tips of your antennas, so you can get proper reception. You might get about 5 more channels. But Dawn and I hit it. And I'm going to tell y'all where they scared. Because now, and I told y'all this was coming. I told y'all they all gonna fail you. I told you the spirit of the new legal, that ghost is going to run rampant. You release that ghost. Now the ghost of new legal is going to do some damage for real. For real damage. I told y'all. Y'all wanted to pamper Nintendo. And I said, okay, keep pampering Nintendo. Kente, I asked you last week, what's the price that people will finally just give up on the Switch 2? What's the price? There's a reason why I said this. Because remember when you said 550? We were having that good talk, and you said 550, and I said, okay, $550 it is. Now look at Kente. Everybody was talking about Kente, but look, I'm about to give Kente some flowers because I saw what Kente was elaborating to. 550 wasn't an over-rationalized guess because I knew that Nintendo was either going to hide behind the tariffs, or what did I say, Resident? Or use the tariffs as an excuse. Remember I said it can only go 2 ways. So at first, people, see the jokes on the Nintendo fans right now. And look, I bought Nintendos. I bought them. So I'm not coming from a place that's void. I'm coming from a place as a Nintendo owner. Now notice this, how when Kente said $550, notice when Nintendo first came out with their assessment, they said, look, we're stopping the pre-orders right now. They said, no, you know, we're not going to be affected by the price. And we're not going to move the pre-order date or the release date for the console. It's going to come right on time, and it's not going to be affected by the price. That's what they told you true Nintendo fans. They told y'all that. Now, as the days go by, y'all realize that Nintendo was lying to y'all the whole time. How do you feel about that? Because I already knew they were lying. I tried to say it because I already knew what the problem was with Nintendo. I just wanted to see if you guys would finally admit to what the problem is with Nintendo. Because I'm ready to not see Nintendo, your judgment day has begun. Because I already know what the worst fear of this whole entire gaming industry is. You just saw what damn Indiana Jones. You just saw what Indiana Jones, okay? They'll do whatever they have to do to give Xbox the least amount of praise for a game, period. That's how it works out here in the gaming streets, okay? Outside of Forza Horizon, you can forget it. The media projects Xbox as a console that, you know, has its games. They're all mediocre, but they have a great racing game. That's the story of Xbox. Xbox, you can't make a real gamer believe that in 10 years that Xbox ain't made one guy. You can't make that up. You can't make that up. So we Xbox fans, we live in this little box that's covenant to us. And we made this covenant with Xbox. And that's the only reason Xbox exists. Because the Xbox, this ain't about the expansion. I ain't talking about Phil Spencer's dream. I'm talking about what kept Xbox around, and it wasn't Phil Spencer's dream. What kept Xbox around are these gamers that made a covenant with Xbox. That's the bottom line. Kente said $550. Now, does Kente look weird today? Because guess what? Guess what? When that damn price hike up, because Nintendo done told y'all, yeah, looks like we're going to have to raise that price. And right when they said that, look, y'all, you got to understand this shit, because I don't think y'all be paying attention. After the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct show, what did Sony do? Resident, what did Sony do? If anybody was paying attention, Resident, what was Sony doing?
Raising the prices.
No, they did a survey.
Oh yeah, they did that too. Yep.
Let me cook. They did a damn survey because Sony is ducking and dodging right now. Sony come out, they talk. As soon as you look to see where they're at, they jump in a bush because Sony's shaky right now. So they looking at any little thing. They're trying to get any little information. They the ops. They the informants out here. So they go to the donkey community and they start talking. What did y'all like about the show? What did you didn't like about the show? They do this little surveys because we already know that PlayStation has another handheld in thought. We know this for a fact. They wanted to know what the big old deal was, how their fans looked at it, how their fans looked at it. Then when Nintendo told them, we're not going to be raising our prices up, Sony said, there it is, green light. See, we were waiting, but now that Nintendo's going to raise their price up, we're going to raise our price up because Sony knew already that they were going to raise their price up. Sony was already going to get hit, but they wanted Nintendo to break the ice for them. Nintendo broke the ice for them. They immediately jumped that price in service first. In service first. Notice how they did it in the service. Well, they did it in the service, but we already got the bad news about the service. They were already leaving the service anyway. So that didn't make any sense. If they're leaving the service anyway, you hiked it up. Okay, whatever. They were leaving it anyway. But lo and behold, now in certain countries around the globe, the PlayStation 5 costs more. And now they're okay with telling you that it's the tariffs. Okay. So at $499, everybody, which is roughly with tax, almost $420. Almost $420. I mean, $520, I'm sorry. Almost $520. Kenta ain't looking that bad off. Now we're gonna throw a tariff tax. We're gonna throw tariff tax on that too. And you don't think that bitch ain't gonna be over $550? Okay. Well, it was all good just a week ago because them Nintendo fans were barking up that tree with no cat in it. They had already expressed their feelings on that stream that the price was too high. Okay. But then we saw the rebellion. We saw them. Some of the YouTubers, some of these articles come out making no damn sense for that console. Well, the console, it's going to be okay. It's okay with me. I'm willing to pay it. I'm willing to pay. Okay. All right. Well, those same people now are going to have to justify why ain't nobody going to buy that shit if it gets over $550. Because ain't nobody going to buy that shit. And let me tell you something. If it's $600, they damn sure not going to do it. So then my question is, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, here's my question. What's the narrative y'all gonna come up with now for Nintendo if they don't buy that console? Because I'm looking at Nintendo and I see fear in their eyes. How do I know this? I love when I get validated. Because there's a little old man, Shuei Yoshida. Don't you just love him, residents? He's coming out since he's been in the dungeons in the basement below Sony, and he's free now. This man just fully goes wherever he wants. And he boldly says great things like this. I think Nintendo was losing their identity with Switch 2. Did I need Yoshida to tell me that? Nope. I was saying it last week. Because when I saw what they offered, I said, there it is. Thank you. Thank you for telling the truth on yourself when I watched that direct show. For all of y'all who think Nintendo can fuck with Microsoft, look at you now. You see, because as an Xbox fan, all I've been hearing all these years is, well, whatever Nintendo they're gonna buy it, it's gonna sell, it's gonna. Yeah, you know why? Because legal, you forget. I really do this shit. This ain't social media made here, bro. I really did these wars out in the streets, bro. I really did this shit. This funny type console war shit, I did that shit. Outside, not on a computer, outside. And when I hear people tell me that shit, the only thing I used to say is, well, because it's dirt cheap. The shortage of price justifies the ends of the means. If I'm paying $199 for a Nintendo console, $200 for a Nintendo console, $250 to $300, I'm justified. And I knew that because I kept seeing the types of games Nintendo kept making. I said, they're not serious. Third-party games ain't on that console because it's not a serious console. But when I saw that we're entering a new era, I immediately rang the bell. Few listened. Few got into the ark before it started to rain. A few did. But many stayed outside that bad boy. And now them waters are getting deep. Just wait. It's going to get even more funnier real soon. Everybody laughed at Microsoft because Realist gave me the keys to this. I see it so vividly now. Everybody made fun of Microsoft, but Microsoft saw this. They saw this. That's why they rewired their route and said, you know what? We're going to make our subscription plan cheap while we offer a whole lot. And when we gain subscription money and we gain engagement, we will get rid of this console sale bullshit that brings no value. It brings no value to the industry. At the same time, we're going to force our competitors to do what? To face tech. Because we're big tech. There's 5 of us. That's Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, and Amazon. Big techs outside of IBM and them. You don't get no bigger than that. That's the era you in now. So, advantage goes to Microsoft. I said that. We're not in this little petty ass console hardware, one product, sell your games. That's VHS mindsets. This is a new era. This is called service and content now. And look at PlayStation right now. Look at PlayStation right now. Having dropped a major AAA game in 2 years. Look at them go. Look at them go. Look at PlayStation Plus right now. Look what they're about to do to these donkeys. They're about to give them Last of Us again. Again. And you can't make this shit up. You can't. You can't even make a $3 bill to fit this one. You can't.
And Days Gone again.
And Days Gone again. Drawn TJ, Xbox brand, the realest one, Resident Gamer, and Chat Pack. Y'all can't make this shit up. PlayStation is fighting to get a live service game successful. That's PlayStation right now. Who would have thought? But Realist, I'm giving Realist his flowers, but I'm asking everybody else. Because really, I was the one outside. Realist was in the arc. And Realist was telling my ass, get in here, bro. Whether you believe it or not, get in here. Because in about 3 years, everybody's going to see this shit. He was right. He was off a year. I'll give it to him, but he was still right. Got to give him trial and error. He called it in 2023. It happened in 2024. And we're rolling. And it ain't stopping. Because I saw the landscape. I just wasn't set into the vision. But now I see it. And Microsoft looks like the good guy. Just like Realist said. Microsoft is going to play this Mr. Nice Guy, smiling all the time. While their competitors out here drowning. I look at Nintendo right now and what they just had to offer. And you can't, you don't want to laugh, but you want to laugh. A 480p camera. A 480p camera, y'all. For a $500-something console. With no games. You got to get into the tech. You got to get into the tech world, but you're going about it that way. You shall not pass. The PlayStation. Before that PlayStation 6 comes out, you better have a nice live service game running. You better have plenty of people playing it. Because PlayStation 6 is going to come out. And if you think that you're getting into games now, you don't understand why you're not getting games. Well, legal will tell you why. They're giving you those games on the PlayStation 6 so they can say, oh, look, we have games. Those games you're getting on PlayStation 6 are the games that you're not getting right now. That's it. You ain't getting those special games. Those are going to be the games that should have came out on the PlayStation 5 right now. You're going to get them on PlayStation 6. Whatever don't get released now is going to get released then. So they can say, look, we dropped the console with some video games. That's all that is. The question that I'm going to have after that is, what do you got after that? The same question we asked them this year, in this era. What do you got after Spider-Man 2? We already called it. We said it. We said it. You got nothing. And they're proving it to us. They got nothing. We're talking about out of the PlayStation Studio camp. They got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nintendo, they're going to get some games, but you got to look at it like this. Those tariffs make that damn console any more higher? Like Kenta said, at $550, that's the breaking point. I'm going to hand that man his flowers. I'm going to hand that man his flowers because I don't see nobody paying for a Switch 2 at $550. I mean, even the diehard hardcore fans got to stop. At some point, you got to smack yourself in the face and say, listen, this is just getting ridiculous. Nintendo's weak spot, its weak spot has been exposed. It's overpricing. Dolan Knight, amen, brother. You nailed it. You right. That was the secret. Shout out to J-Mac. That's it. We see it clear as day. What's the sweet spot for Microsoft moving forward? $699. Don't step on the rate, Xbox. Because right now, they can't stop you. The only thing that can stop Xbox right now is Xbox. You see that big duffel bag I said? When they start pulling their money out that duffel bag, some glorious things are about to happen. Ain't nobody betting against that right now. You're an idiot if you try. Because every time you turn around, Xbox dropping games. Left and right. Not missing a beat. What's the excuses now? What's your excuse for Nintendo now? What's your excuse for PlayStation now? You have no more. Nintendo is suffocating while Nintendo is drowning. That's what's going on. And Nintendo is hoping now that their fans save them with this one. And PlayStation is hoping that they throw anything out there And look what they did at the marathon. We can't, they don't even listen. You make all the excuses in the world and say, well, it's Bungie. Bungie got signed to be a third party. Sony wasn't done. Let me tell you something about these donkeys. Sony is smarter than you. You are not enough. They told y'all that. Because they told y'all don't buy these damn games anyway. That's why you're getting remasters. But you got donkeys out here still trying to talk. That was Sony's nice way to tell y'all to shut the F up. Nothing you say matters. What you say, you don't put into action. Shut the F up. That's what Sony was saying to y'all. Sony put Marathon out here to be spread around because they got common sense. They know that putting that game on just their platform ain't going to work. They know. They ain't do that with Helldivers either. Y'all talked about no day and date. Helldivers was day and date on PC. I don't give a damn about your narrative. Well, it's a multi-live service play. It's day and date. It happened already. It's done. Your theories, your myths, and narrative got destroyed with Helldivers 2. Done. This concludes this matter. It's done. Now, look, Sony has no problem continually putting games on Xbox. And we told y'all this was going to happen. So just get ready for the next game to come to Xbox. And get ready for the next game to come to Xbox. And get ready for the next game to come to Xbox. Because over here, we tell you the truth. Over here, the New Lingo's ghost runs rampant. It haunts these donkeys. Over here, there is no silent mode. Over here, we have the last laugh. Over here, we have all the power and the content. So just remember, when you start seeing those PlayStation games constantly going all over the place, you're not only going to know why. You can't blame it on legal. Like I've been telling Games Heroes, they can't say it's legal's fault that PlayStation suffocated. They can't put that on me, J-Mac. You know why? Because legal never bought a PlayStation. It's not my fault. I never supported it. But to everybody out here that's held their PlayStation up in their hands, that's hugged it, that's kissed it, that's thrown it, that's sold it, we don't even give a damn if you gave it away. Here's the bottom line. You bought it. Sony already made their money off you. What you do with it afterwards doesn't matter anymore. I don't give a damn if you break it, destroy it, burn it, throw it in the ocean. You bought it. They already got their money. That's what cracks me up when you see these dummies on, I'm getting rid of my Xbox, right? It doesn't matter what you do with it now. You bought it, it's yours. You have the right to do whatever you want to do. If you want to put it under your tire and back up over it 1,000 times, Microsoft already got your money. Microsoft already got your money. Doesn't matter what you do after that. You bought it. You bought it. Because you didn't support it is why it can't breathe. All y'all that bought a PlayStation and then get those PlayStation VR 2s, y'all didn't dive into those portals. And I ain't just talking about people who collect shit. We ain't talking about them. I'm talking about you weirdos out here that are buying up all this PlayStation shit and is doing nothing for PlayStation. Absolutely nothing. Because when you have a fan base that can't live up to just something simple like support, it doesn't matter what you do anymore. It's a lost cause. And I know it hurts some of y'all because some of y'all are half-breeds. And I know y'all hate to be called that. Y'all got some of that in y'all blood. Y'all got some pony, donkey, unicorn, whatever else they've been calling y'all throughout the ages. Blood in y'all. Somewhere it's mixed. And when somebody rubs the PlayStation wrong just a little bit, y'all get just a little emotional over it. And that's what makes y'all go out here and start buying some shit. Because you deep down, you don't want Sony to go away. But see, here's the difference between me and you. Here's the difference between me and you. Let me make this clear on Di-RRec Gaming. When I say I don't give an F about PlayStation, I mean it. When you say F PlayStation, you don't mean it. That's the difference. When I say if it dies, it dies, I mean it. When you say if it dies, you don't mean it. When I say I can stand alone in these Xbox streets, I mean it. You don't ever say anything like that because you can't. That's the difference between legal and some of y'all. Because see, I'm not afraid to show my fanship. I'm not afraid to show y'all what I enjoy. I'm not afraid to tell you why I don't buy a PlayStation. I don't feel bad because somebody tells me, oh, you don't have all the consoles and shit. You're not a real gamer. None of that stuff bothers me because I pay for everything I own and I buy what I like. I'm not going to buy something and then let it sit. Realist, Resident, Tron, Brand, Chat. I don't do shit like that. When I'm going to buy it, I'm going to use it. That's the bottom line. If I buy it, I'm going to use it. You got people out here that talk about the console and they don't use it. That's the stupid ass era I'm in. I'm in this kind of era where they talk about having a console that they don't even use.
Bro, I had the best intentions, okay? They told me that there was greatness. They said greatness awaits. I gave it a shot, bro. Why you gotta do? It's like, well, I'm catching strays, bro. Like, I just told you, man. You know, look, I entered into that with the best of intentions. They told me that The Last of Us was the best thing I could play. They told me Uncharted they told me that Uncharted was light years ahead of Tomb Raider. Right? They told me all these things, man. And now here I am. They told me The Last Guardian was a gem, a masterpiece. Dude, I tried look, I entered into it with the best of intentions. All right. I'd appreciate it if you stop shooting strays.
Let's go. Yo, Resident, I got one confession. Let's go. Come on, people. I already knew that about Willis, though. I already knew that. But listen, it's not going to be my fault. Resident, let them know where they can find you at, famo. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I got a new handle now. Look up Desert Gamer.
For the third time, Resident, let's go. Drawn TJ, let them know where they can find you at, brother.
Yeah, you can find me at Drawn TJ on Xbox or on Twitter/X. And if you want to hit me up, just hit me up. We can play games. If you want to chat, we can talk about gaming news and figure out why Sony's making bad decisions and why they should want to stick around longer and be competition for Xbox and everybody else. But yeah. And everyone, please hit the like button and subscribe.
One thing about Drawn TJ, man, he's a strong supporter. And we over here on Di-RRec Gaming appreciate him a lot. We couldn't get Spar 117 in tonight. He was out dinner dating. And you know, he's another one. But Drawn TJ really puts a lot of effort into supporting people that he feels he ought to support and be around. So we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you being
I support people I believe in and people that are not going to yank my chain if you get my drift. And also I support people that are actually like true gamers.
No doubt, fam. We appreciate that. Xbox brand, let them know where they can find you at, brother. Because my man ain't scared to say Xbox brand.
I'm always very outspoken, so you'll always find me in the Twitter spaces somewhere. Most likely, you can. So like I said, you'll see me jump around most of the time. I'll say stuff. Mostly it's on X. But other than that, I'm just usually just playing games. So, like I said, oftentimes I'm not even seen anywhere, but maybe hitting a snippet here, hitting a snippet there. But I am in vocal spaces on X all the time with a series of group of guys that are, for the most part, they're all Xbox gamers. Mostly PC, but they are Xbox. They play all those Xbox games. So all I can tell you is you know, we've got a great future with Xbox, and I can continue to see that Xbox is going to grow and become the dominant force in gaming. Everyone's playing their games. Everyone's talking about their games. If they're not, they're talking about how horrible Xbox is, but you still got them in your mouth, so you're still thinking about them. So Xbox is the top of the story. Everyone's looking at them, and they're only going to continue to grow. We're seeing too many games coming out of their company. So, like I said, just keep looking forward to the game showcases, to all the events that they have, and I think we're going to be very pleased in the future.
Good stuff, man. Realist, where they can find you at, brother?
Realist.
I don't know if
We lost Realist.
I don't know.
It's all good. Realist be working, man. He working even when he's on here. So I'll speak for him. I want to say appreciate my brother always being around. I think he's.
Bro, y'all can't hear me?
Nah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I said find me on Di-RRec Gaming.
Shout outs to the Realist. When he's over there with my man Teknoblast on Technos, he's over there also doing the ones and twos with Tech over there. And listen to the chat, Pat. To every single one of y'all that came in tonight, man, y'all already know y'all home. We appreciate y'all. To everybody out there that catching on the backside, we care about y'all too. To y'all out there still watching, we care about y'all too. To everybody out here, whether you love, whether you hate the channel, but you come through, all we want to say is salute to you on the ones and twos. Leave some comment below. Remember, hit the subscribe button. Never miss a beat, man. Smash that notification bell, rip it apart, man. Do whatever you feel. I don't care what you do. Explode it. Whatever you got, whatever your heart desires. You know what I'm saying? Do it, man. It's not gonna hurt nobody but you. You might get a soreness on your elbow, but look, man, if you feel like you need to smash your keyboard now, smash it down. Do what you gotta do. But in the meantime, this is the new legal representing Di-RRec Gaming and the mighty, mighty, mighty Xbox community, man. The Green Emerald Fortress is for real. It's on lockdown. You don't get in here unless you riding on the green side of things, man. We're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate the beauty and what Microsoft brings to the Xbox program. The value of Xbox, man, is upon everybody. And I think real gamers are starting to see it. Now Xbox isn't hard to determine. Everybody's looking at it. It's common sense. Like, damn, it's just common sense. Like they look over, like, damn, look at all that over there on Xbox right now. Look at that cornucopia of video games. I want to play video games. You get Game Pass, you're getting over 400 games at your disposal. There's nothing out there like it. Day ones, nothing like it, because the triple OG trillionaire has that big duffel bag that can do that. See, it can do that. It can also keep paying devs out of its pocketbooks to keep some games on Game Pass when they want at their disposal. They can do that. While Xbox is trying to help the industry grow for all of us, everybody just can't do that. Shout outs to Microsoft and the vision of Phil Spencer and the team of Xbox that's literally out here helping devs, helping these lowercase platforms, trying to keep hope alive out here. They're the ones out here when these gaming events come around. Xbox is there. Xbox is at games. They're not missing any of this shit. Everybody else is. Nintendo and Sony's nowhere to be found. But Microsoft out there in the streets. They're remaining out here in the streets because, to be honest, Xbox was born out here in these streets. It's one of the rarest consoles that were born out in the streets. Born out in the streets, man. Literally. College kids, dorms, live lands. That's where Xbox was born from. Remember, always keep it gaming, y'all. Always keep it gaming. Don't let anybody distract you, man. Don't let anybody distract you. It is what it is. When you're on social media, you're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. We don't worry about anybody outside of nothing. We worry about what we do. We're here. Legal's good. There's no harm done to legal. Legal's right here. Look, losing an account, that just goes with the territory and the field that I'm in. I'm a soldier for the Greens team. It happens.
You're not going anywhere until the day you die. Otherwise, you're going to keep doing this because you love what you do.
Look, famo, it's not life-threatening, right? It's not a life-death. I know people who are serving life that ain't never coming out.
Yeah, it's not a necessity. It's a hobby.
I know people who are really going through some real things that ain't going through anything. I'm right here. I'm right here with my man Dolomite. We're here. I'm right here with Chat Pat. I'm right here with Drawn TJ. We ain't going anywhere. We're right here on Di-RRec Gaming, bro. We're right here. The impenetrable fortress. We're here. We here. It was just a setup, y'all. It was just a game of tag account. Hey, listen, the joke's on you. Let's get out of here, y'all. Don't tuck your chain for nobody. Peace.